Breaking today, Meghan Markle has just disgustingly broken the terms of the Sandringham Summit in her latest TV farce as the Sussexes start to leak new details about the meeting with the King. How predictable. But of course, the mainstream media are giving her a pass on this. The royal family are giving her a pass on this, but I'm not, because I am completely disgusted by the fact that confirmation of Ms. Markle as a guest judge on MasterChef Australia shows that she is absolutely making money off her so-called royal connections. Because it is now official, it is now confirmed by the Aussie broadcaster that she asks contestants to create a dish fit for a duchess. So sure, she may have been angry about the TV producers referring to her as royalty, but trust me, as someone who covered the Sandringham Summit, this TV appearance goes against both the clear law of the Sandringham Summit, if only it was enforceable by law. Lock her up! Lock the traitor up! But also actually the moral code of what the Sandringham Summit was all about. Create a dish fit for a duchess, be paid on a commercial television project to do that. You are breaking the Sandringham Summit. You are not listening to what the late Queen wanted. I think the whole show is going to be a terrible, terrible car crash for Meghan. Cringe. Thank you for the royal grift from that. Tash, the Daily Mail, according to Taz, is with me, I should say. The Daily Mail reporting on this, Tash, that Meghan Markle's judging spot on MasterChef Australia will be broadcast later this month, with chefs challenged to create a dish fit for a duchess. The former actress filmed the slot when she visited Australia with her husband Prince Harry during their pseudo-royal tour 3 months ago. She has said her love of good food and Australia were the two reasons she chose to be a guest judge on the country's biggest TV show. Today, it was revealed the episode will broadcast on Sunday, July 26th at 7 p.m. on Channel 10, with Media Week reporting Meghan will ask the contestants to create a dish fit for a duchess. So Meghan will ask the contestants. Note that. How can she blame that on the show if she knew that it was happening? The Duchess, who was claimed to have been very frustrated when her co-stars called her royalty on camera, is said to set a challenge using seasonal ingredients, including Brussels sprouts, celeriac, and Australia's famous macadamia nuts. Quince, lemons, apples, mandarins, and strawberries were also available to chefs, along with Australian honey to sweeten the dishes rather than her own was never branded honey. And then we get the quote, the PR quote for Meghan. I wonder how much she was paid for this. What attracted me to the MasterChef Australia kitchen, she asked. 2 things, my love of food and my love of Australia. It was an easy yes. Don't lie, Meghan, you were like, add a 0 onto the fee, then maybe I'll do it. She went on, it's such a great show. I'm just really honoured that I was asked to be here with you and to be able to judge some of these meals. She then told the contestants, I'd love it if there's a connection that you can find when, as you're cooking something, what is the story behind it? What is something from your family or from a memory, something sentimental that we can also taste as we taste your dish? Oh yeah, like all of those meals that your father made for you growing up, Meghan Markle. These are all the things that for me, she said, feel really nostalgic. But as the Royal News Network put it, oh gosh, how cringy can this be? A dish fit for a duchess? Really? Now, Tash, I know we can just say, well, she's broken the terms of the Sandringham Summit so many times, does it even matter anymore? But to me, it actually does. When she is directly going on a television show, my understanding is that she was paid a lot of money for this television show. This was not for charity. It was not for Archewell, which, as you point out, Tash, and we'll come to it later, she never talks about anymore. This was to plump up her bank balance and makes a big thing about, well, I'm not going to be called royalty because, of course, we can't use that. But then the actual challenge is a dish fit for a duchess. I'm sorry. You are breaking the Sandringham Summit. You are yet again disrespecting the late Queen Elizabeth II. You are yet again disrespecting the British royal family. She doesn't care. No one seems to call her out for it anymore, so I will.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a woman that once turned around and said, I want to be linked and not ranked, but also the same woman that when she went to, I think it was the LA tar pits, and there was a group of school children, this came out in a report, you know, that there were school children, and she got them, the person, whoever it was, to announce to a bunch of 11, 12-year-old girls the Duchess of Sussex, let alone when she went to a friend's house that was allowing her to have her interview there. And she also got announced walking into the room. I mean, Meghan, she knew it looked bad. This was the thing. So she quickly got her spokesperson to put out a statement. This is very typical of Harry and Meghan, to turn around and say, that's not true. I was very upset and frustrated that they said something like that. But let's be realistic here. Meghan, preparing a dish fit for a duchess. She was a working duchess for 22 months. Most of that she was actually on holiday and out of the country and maternity leave. Secondly, Meghan Markle never even made it to an official state banquet. Not even once. I think it's obvious that you could probably serve Meghan burger and chips, but given the way that woman eats burgers, I mean, come on, Dan.
No one wants to see that. No one wants to see her eat. No one wants to see her touch any food. But no, look, the point is she can no longer say, oh, this was something the TV producers just did and I'm against it, because the entire challenge is about a dish fit for the Duchess. And you're so right. It's so weird, isn't it? Because it's like everyone's sort of trying to look up to her as if she's royalty when we all know she's not. It's super, super cringe. Equally cringe, Tash, the fact that Meghan Markle appears to have bought herself an Emmy nomination. But Tash, not for the actual Emmys, right? Which are the big deal where you get all of the primetime shows competing against each other, like, The Diplomat and Hacks. And do you know what I mean? The big deal,
shows
big budget TV shows, shows that you've heard of. This is the daytime Emmys, Tash. Now, I'm sorry. Yeah. How on earth can what was it called? Yeah, With Love Meghan. How on earth can With Love Meghan qualify for the daytime Emmys? It is a streaming show that was very much launched as a prime time proposition on Netflix with a prime time budget. But no, she's got a daytime Emmy nomination. Yeah. Here's the need to know from her propagandists at People magazine, of course, who breathlessly announced Meghan Markle's Netflix show was announced as a daytime Emmy nominee. With Love Meghan, one of the nominees in the Outstanding Lifestyle Programme category. The winners will be announced at the 53rd Annual Daytime Emmy Awards in October. Trust me, they're not a big deal. The daytime Emmys, they're really, really not. And let me just tell you what her competition is, Tash. I haven't heard any of them, and I'm going to apologise if these are good shows. One's called A Different Breed. One is called George to the Rescue. The other, The Motherhood and The Wizard of Whores. But as RNN said, tell me without telling me that there are almost zero shows to compete in this category. With Love Meghan was the antithesis of entertainment. It was an abysmal, boring slog at best, and getting through one episode was painful. Yet, of course, Tash, the Sussex squad haters are all over this. I had Narinder Kaur messaging me this out of the blue saying, wow, Meghan Sussex. I mean, it's so embarrassing, isn't it? No one calls her that. Amazing Netflix show With Love Meghan has been nominated for an Emmy. Emmy in capital letters. Incredible. Wait for the haters to have a meltdown. And no, an Emmy can't be bought. Well, actually, it can, because you do have to campaign, Tash. That's how these awards work. It's a huge, big money industry. So let me give Narinder the benefit of the doubt. Narinder, love, you don't know how Hollywood works, okay? I do. I spent decades as an entertainment reporter. You can absolutely buy an Emmy nomination because you campaign for it. The producers, they put ads out, they target the voters. You can absolutely buy a nomination. But the bigger point here, Tash, is that it's the daytime Emmys. Actually, if she was nominated for the main Emmys, I'd have to be a bit like, whoa, that's a surprise. But how on earth can a show on a massive primetime budget, remember the budget for this was something like $80 million, Tash, with like 80 staff members. Yeah, exactly. Yep. A huge team. All of a sudden, she's admitting, oh no, this is just a little daytime show. Because again, for people who don't understand, Tash, daytime in television, and remember, I'm not saying this from a snobby perspective. I spent 10 years working as a showbiz correspondent at the big daytime show here in the UK. I love daytime TV, but daytime TV, Tash, is very much made on low budgets, on a sort of different level of I guess, authority and a different
Yeah.
level of importance, considered importance in what is a snobby industry. So when all of a sudden did Meghan decide, oh yeah, this is just a little daytime show. It's 80 million budget, but it's just a little daytime show.
It was the only thing that she could get her hands on, because she wasn't going to be listed or nominated for a real Emmy, was she? I mean, this is a woman that got nicknamed Salmonella Sussex because of her absolutely diabolical kitchen hygiene, let alone the basic stuff. You know, people could be, I suppose, a bit picky, saying, oh, she doesn't hold a knife right and she can't grate a lemon right. This is a woman that had raw chicken in the fridge, that was wearing her jewelry as she bastes and molests raw chicken, you know? I mean, it was so disgusting watching the things that she did with food, with her hair dangling down in it. I mean, she was a basic kitchen hygiene red flag. And the show at the end of the day got cancelled after one season. It was so bad. They filmed 16 episodes and they split it into 2 so she could pretend that it was renewed for season 2. Remember her dancing around in that little baseball cap? It was all staged. There was no season 2. They filmed it all in one go. And I think that they tried to get the best episodes in the first season. But Dan, you and I sat through that. I mean, that's hours of our lives that we've lost forever.
And where are the specials, Tash?
They were bad.
You know the promised specials, though. Oh, there was going to be a Valentine's Day special and a Thanksgiving special. Where are they? Oh, surprise, surprise, I've never come.
Yeah.
The show was axed because it was a total bomb. Awful. I mean, you're right. I made some special episodes. If people didn't watch With Love, Meghan, honestly, go back and watch our special review episodes where we got people like Samantha Markle in to actually judge what was just appalling television.
Oh, it was awful. It really
look,
was
Tash,
bad.
we've got to speak about the visit, though, because, of course, the leaks are coming.
Naturally.
So, obviously. So first to the Sun, who just happened, Tash, even though we were not meant to know anything, just happened to be told that Prince Harry was leaving Althorpe. And just happened to be told that, he was due to visit her grave with Meghan and Archie and Lily.
What gate?
Yeah, exactly. And Tash, of course, we know that this was, the leaks directly coming to the Sun from the Sussex camp. So I don't believe that was at all a coincidence. They wanted people to know.
What are the chances?
Yeah, exactly. Because then the article went on to say, sources insist no details will be leaked about the private family gathering and no photos released. It's like, well, you're already leaking because you're leaking to the Sun to say, oh, well, we're not going to put any photos up. But by the way, it did happen and Harry was there. So it's like, you are leaking about the visit.
It was obvious they were going to do it. I mean, we've started having snippets coming out to do with the actual meeting with the King as well, with Kate Nichol today. It's obvious that this was never going to stay quiet. But yeah, I mean, seriously, Althorpe's apparently got several different entrances. It's one of those estates where they do have prominent guests go there, and there are ways that you can get in and out relatively unseen. And let's be honest, Harry and Meghan are multi-millionaires. Why not take a helicopter in? Why not go in for absolute privacy? This was obviously timed for the photograph that knew exactly the time, exactly where they would be. I mean, they did, to be fair, know that Harry and Meghan were going to go to Althorpe. So you could say paparazzi were lurking in the bushes, but I'm sorry, those two leak all of the time. They set up the paparazzi all of the time for those two to be like, oh, it was nothing to do with us. It's the boy that cried wolf, really. I mean, you wouldn't believe that they hadn't set it up. But of course they were going to leak. Of course they are. This is their only currency. Harry's got the Diana card and taking the children there. And I think the majority of people believe, like myself, that this will appear in the Diana documentary that they're not apparently working on. That will come out at a later date. There is bound to be releases of photographs of the children. They don't necessarily have to be at her graveside, but they will be where she grew up.
Yeah, and they will have just filmed it on their own phone, Tash, because the thing is,
actually lovely moment.
Yeah, exactly. And this is how it works, because even with the Netflix Harry and Meghan documentary, they were prepared to pay all of that money, Tash, because of the found footage that Harry and Meghan had been filming themselves. So, for example,
log in.
Yeah, exactly. Like the engagement night, like the famous Freedom Flight that Harry filmed on his mobile phone. He wasn't doing that for personal memories. They were getting together a collection which they could then sell to the TV companies. The world has changed. You don't always need to have big camera crews following you. Although, by the way, it was also reported that by Alison Boshoff in the Daily Mail that they were bringing camera crews for Invictus and for Althorpe, but it almost is irrelevant because as long as there is footage, what that does is it puts the price up. Or even pictures. Some TV companies, Tash, like Netflix, might just be happy if they have the pictures, because remember during the Harry and Meghan Netflix series, they did release a whole series of previously unseen images, and they were part of a montage and they were used as publicity for the show.
Personal family album.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
That's how you sell it. You mentioned the Katie Nicholl report. It is worth going into because what I think is so odd about this, it's like, and this is what Harry and Meghan always do, they try and make it look as if the leaks are coming from within the royal family. But it's like, because do you remember the meeting with Charles, Tash? It was like, oh my God, it was so emotional. It was like a movie scene, and Charles was in tears, and then there was
tears.
Then there was the leak to the Bucky to from Buckingham Palace saying, oh God, they made out as if this was like the Treaty of Versailles.
The Treaty of Versailles.
Yeah. And it's the same thing here to Katie Nicholl, because it's like Queen Camilla, she just wanted to be there so badly.
She dropped everything.
Yeah,
she dropped everything, Dan. She just ran for it.
And it's just like, do you know Camilla? That ain't her style. Certainly not her style for people who've called her dangerous, by the way. But anyway, this was the reporting from Katie Nicholl. I'm not blaming her for the reporting, by the way. She has to do her job. So she writes, King Charles went to great lengths to keep his reunion with Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Archie and Lilibet secret, only telling Queen Camilla the meeting was going ahead so that she could be by his side. According to sources, and we'll come back to this, Tash, because I think it's pretty bad, not even the Prince and Princess of Wales were made aware that the meeting was taking place. I mean, that is hugely disrespectful, if indeed that is true. But I guess you have to also consider the possibility is that Harry and Meghan trying to stir the pot between Charles and William. Katie Nicholl goes on to report King Charles, who has sworn his younger son and daughter-in-law to secrecy. I mean, Charles, how stupid are you? It's not going to work. It never works. Insisting that nothing about last Friday's reunion was leaked, only allowed aides to confirm the reunion had happened once Harry had left Highgrove House without being seen. According to a source close to the monarch, Friday's hour-long meeting was completely cloak and dagger orchestrated by the king. The king wanted to see Harry and the children. A time was agreed for the Sussexes to come to Highgrove on Friday afternoon, and it was uncharacteristically last minute for the king. Everyone was sworn to secrecy so that the meeting could remain private, the source tells Vanity Fair. Queen Camilla, who was nearby at her Rainmill House estate, drove over to Highgrove for the meeting in quite a hurry. Charles wanted Camilla to be there for moral support, and because she has been a pillar of strength for him throughout all the drama with Harry, and she dropped everything. She told no one, not even her family. She just got in the car and headed over. They were all on a mission to keep the meeting as watertight as possible. They are keeping the meeting. So that's the first source. Then there's the source close to the Sussexes, who weighs in. They are keeping the meeting top secret. They haven't said anything to anyone. The agreement was made before they met the king that nothing would be shared, no photos, no details. It was a top secret arrangement and they pulled it off, and frankly, they are delighted about that. They were at Highgrove for an hour or so, but don't expect to hear anything about what was said. That was the promise Harry made to his father. It's critical because this is the first time the families have met in 4 years. But Tash, you have been sort of trying to dampen down some of the celebration from the Sussex squad and also some of the disappointment from royalists in regards to King Charles about the decision to go ahead with the meeting. Posting on X, there was no photo. The palace publicly announced that nothing will be leaked from them. They proved that travel privately and safely can happen without fanfare. Harry was not allowed to stay at the palace. The meeting, and you say not reunion, the meeting lasted an hour. They also took the children to see the evil relatives despite no apology or accountability that both Harry and Meghan demanded. They have undone all their complaints and look like total fools. You only have to look at how brief it was and that Charles slapped Harry down from staying at the palace. Sussex propaganda want people to believe this was a happy reunion, and whilst the king got to see Archie and Lily, I don't think it was happy families with Harry and Meghan. So Tash, you have a different take on this meeting. in terms of it not being the massive victory that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's PR teams are now clearly presenting it as to Vanity Fair today.
Again, there is this whole operation, not just Sussex propaganda, but certain people in the media that want the public to turn against the king. They all work hand in hand together. I have seen this, I have watched this over the years that I've been covering the royal family. They deliberately team up together to push this as a big victory, that the king has bowed down, the king has gone against Catherine and William. I mean, the bit in that article by saying that Catherine and Prince William were not told about the meeting, that Queen Camilla wasn't even told, it was a last minute thing. Do people really think that the king wouldn't have had conversations with his wife before doing that? What, he just quickly called her up and say, oh, darling, can you drop everything you're doing? Because I've decided to let the 2 traitors in to our home at Highgrove and the kids are coming. Just, pop along whenever you get a chance. It doesn't make sense. And as for Catherine and Prince William, do people really think when Prince William was playing one of his biggest events of the year, whereby he helps to earn millions for charities, that the king wouldn't have turned around and said, oh, by the way, son, you might have some press turn up that just start shouting about, I'm actually meeting your younger brother. And they would have had those conversations. It's, again, for me, I take a seat. Sometimes I react quickly, and then I'm very angry and I'm disappointed at the king. But then when I take a breath and I sit back and I go, whoa, we've seen all of this before. We've seen the spin that Harry and Meghan do. At the end of the day, it was a meeting. This wasn't a loving family reunion. This wasn't time spent, enjoying themselves. They would have stayed for the weekend or something. They managed to slot them in an hour space again. Hasn't seen them for 4 years, the children, if he'd ever seen Lily before at all. And then that was it. It was perfunctory. This is not a loving reunion. And for anybody that thinks that the king wouldn't have had the conversations with Prince William to say, heads up, this is going to happen, because of course this will dominate the news. It was going to be huge. And the Queen, he didn't think to tell his darling wife that's got his back. He just randomly rings her up saying, do you know what? Keep it quiet though. Don't tell your children. We're not going to tell Catherine and William, because obviously they'll leak it to the press. It was another stealthy manipulation, I would say, with Katie Nichols reporting to try and say that Harry and Meghan wanted it to stay completely private. They did absolutely everything. And the king knew he couldn't trust his wife, William or Catherine, or even Camilla's children. That's why it had to be cloak and dagger and kept quiet away from all of them. It's Sussex propaganda. You just need to sit back and read between the lines.
Very good point, Tash. Very good point. And by the way, if you are feeling a little bit mad at King Charles, like I have to admit I have been since this visit, I'm going to show you this because it's going to make you warm to the guy again. Trust me. The royal family posted yesterday during a visit to the Isle of Man, the king sat down with James Fenton, a 104-year-old Burma Star veteran. James is one of the last surviving veterans of the Burma campaign. His Majesty previously met him at commemorations for the 80th anniversary of VJ Day in 2025. This interaction between two men, both with their own battles with age and with health, is really, truly wonderful. Tash, wasn't that just beautiful?
Yeah, that was really, really lovely, actually. Yeah, I was not in a bad mood, but obviously whenever we talk about Harry and Meghan, my mood couldn't decline, but that put me back up in a good mood. But yeah, no, that is a lovely meeting, and you can just tell it was like a genuine lovely moment. More so, well, not more so, but for the veteran. I mean, 104 years old. There's not many of them left now. And that's pretty amazing. And he's looking really well. But yeah, no, that was cute. I love the bit about don't tell me you're another one that dances with my wife.
And also bits keep falling off. Bits keep falling off, Charles sort of making light of his health battle. Well, Tash, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to bring the mood down slightly. Although I think you might enjoy this one. Because did you see that Sacha Baron Cohen has returned as Ali G and has decided to target Prince Harry and his drug taking, honestly. So actually, I think it might cheer you up, this one, because it's very, very funny.